Once upon a time, there was a kingdom called Magadha, which was ruled by the king Uttama. King Uttama had only one eye and one leg, but his skill, intelligence, and generosity made him a competent ruler. As a result, the people in his kingdom lived a joyful and healthy life under his rule. One day, while walking in his palace, King Uttama noticed the portraits of his ancestors along the hallway. The paintings of his ancestors sparked a thought in his mind. He thought that his children would walk the same corridor one day and remember all the ancestors through these portraits. But Uttama never had his portrait painted because he had never thought of getting one. No one had ever suggested he get one painted because they were unsure how it would turn out due to his physical abnormalities. But Uttama now wanted a portrait of him because he wanted his younger generation to remember him when they see his picture. So, the king sent an invitation to all the painters from across the kingdoms to the court. He announced that he wanted a beautiful portrait made of himself that would be placed in the palace. So, any painter who wants to paint his picture should come forward. The reward will be based on how good the painting will turn out. Now, the painters started to panic and thought about making the king with only one eye and one leg look beautiful. How will his picture be beautiful? It is impossible. They were also scared that the king may get angry and punish them if the portrait did not turn out beautiful. So, one by one, all the painters started to make excuses and politely declined to make a picture of the king. But one young painter raised his hand and said that he would make a beautiful portrait of the king that the king would like. The other painters got curious about how this young painter would make a beautiful portrait of the king. Now, Uttama was finally happy hearing that at least one of the painters was interested in making his picture. He excitedly permitted, and the young painter started drawing his portrait. He then filled the picture with paints. After a long time, the painter said that the picture was ready. All of the courtiers, other painters, were curious and nervous. How will the painting look beautiful with all the physical abnormalities of the king? What if the king doesn't like the art and gets angry? They curiously waited for the big reveal. Now, finally, the young painter uncovered the portrait in front of the court. Everyone in the court, including King Uttama, was left stunned looking at the picture of the king. The young painter had made a beautiful portrait in which the king was sitting on the horse on the one leg side, holding his bow and aiming the arrow with his one eye closed like this. Everyone was awed. Indeed, archery and horse riding were few of the skills King Uttama possessed. Nevertheless, the king was so happy seeing the picture, seeing that the young painter had creatively presented the physical abnormalities of the king. Uttama adored the picture and the painter received a very generous reward. Indeed, it was a beautiful portrait. How beautiful the world will look if we could ignore others' weaknesses and remember and celebrate their strength.